GarageCon 2023 is in the books. And Reggie, I'm not sure if you're allowing me to say that word because it is a trademarked word. But anyhow, you can monetize this video if you want. But it is in the books. It was an amazing experience. And I'm going to tell about my adventures. Stay tuned. Hey YouTube, it's Matt here, and I had such a cool experience to tell you guys about. I have some books, guys. This is going to be a little bit of a haul video, but I hope to be telling cool stories while I show off some cool books. So, anyhow, to understand what this video is about, I just got back from Regie Collects GarageCon. Now, this is a trademark name. I need to make sure that I reach out to old Regie Collects. That's not his real name, that's his YouTube name. But I need to make sure that I ask permission. So if you are listening to me say the word GarageCon or GarageCon2023 or any variation, I do have permission from the owner of that name. So anyhow, this was such a cool time. Now what happens is most of the people that follow this channel have seen Regie Collects. Most of the people know that I also watch that show, but not everybody. So who Regie Collects is he is an amazing comic book YouTuber. He is a creator. He owns his own publishing company. It's very small, but there's a lot of cool books. In fact, some of them I'm going to show you. But anyhow, he invites people to literally his garage, which is why it's called GarageCon. And, you know, there's some books there. And I mean, there are books to buy. But honestly, for the people that go there, it's just interacting with people that you get to see in a chat. You get to talk to on Instagram or wherever. But it's kind of cool to actually get to see these people in person. Honestly, some of these people have become some of my best friends in the entire world. And it's such a cool experience, okay? Now, this is my fourth GarageCon. His first one was in December of 2019. It was out in the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, he did his first two. I actually went to his second. I flew out there. It was great. I had a long weekend at work. It was a COVID year. The flights are really cheap. It was just, everything worked out nicely for me to be able to get out there. Now, his last three have been in North Carolina. And that is a decent drive for me, but it's not so far that I couldn't just make it in a single day. So, anyhow, I have made the last 4 GarageCons out of 5, and honestly, some of the people that I see there, I am so excited to see them year in, year out. As long as he keeps doing these events, I'll probably still be going to them. So, some of the people that I was so honored to see there was Anachronic Comics, Joe, super good person, you know, honest to Pete, one of the nicest human beings you would ever meet. I've known Joe for quite a few years, and it's just, I get excited every time I get to see him. There was Doug and Dave Bratton, two amazing human beings that were there. Milt from Flowers Comics, you know, we've been seeing Milt all over the internet, all over YouTube. Guys, whenever he's on Gary's 1011 and he's showing off these books, they are mind-blowing on what he shows off. Such a cool, great human being. Chuck Hensey was there. So good to see him. And Mrs. Hensey. On Friday night, we were actually able to go out to dinner. And it was Joe, the Bratton brothers. It was Milt. It was Mr. and Mrs. Hensey. And, well, this guy just happened to be there too. So it was a pretty cool time. But so some of the books that I got. Now, that was Friday night. Saturday, we were actually at Reggie's Garage. And he had a lot of books for sale. And honestly, like I said, guys, it's fun to peruse through the books. I'm not really there to buy books, although I ended up getting a few of them. But, so anyhow, he had this one box, and it was marked free. And he had a lot of comic books he was just giving away. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab some of these. So, I'll show you some of them. I just love this title. I hate this place. I don't know. It seemed pretty negative, but I don't know. It might be a good read. It's from Image. So I've heard of the title, but I've never read it. And there was a whole bunch of Creepshow books. And guys, I don't know what issues or anything. Just, I was first introduced to Creepshow by the Creepshow and Creepshow 2 movies that came out in the 80s. And I remember Stephen King was in one of those movies, but that was when I first was introduced. And then I was introduced to Creepshow and comic books. And I've been blown away by all that. And this book is a New York Comic Con variant, and I didn't know that. It's issue number 1. Actually, Milt pointed this out to me. Thank you, Milt. This book's in good shape, but it might benefit from a press. I don't know that it needs it clean. But this is a trade paperback. I've heard really good things about it. It's called Class War. It took me a while to figure out exactly what that name was, but now that I know it's Class War, it's easy to read. But it took me a little bit just because it's kind of digitalized. And then here's a Stillwater volume 3 trade paperback. So I picked those up from the free box. Okay. Hey guys, who's going to pass up a free comic book? Certainly not this guy. But so anyhow, we were there on Saturday and there were so many great people, and I was so honored to meet the godfather of the YouTube comic book game, Brian LCS. But Brian, super good dude, you know, has the Comic Book Community Awards, and he started at, and it's become such a successful endeavor. So many people look forward to seeing every year the awardees, and so Brian is doing a fantastic job with the Comic Book Community Awards. But I was also there, and Reggie had this box for me, and he goes, "Hey, you won this. I don't even really remember. I think I answered a question on one of his live streams. And so I think I won some giveaways that were just there. Here's a Transformers book. I'm not even sure. Void Rivals. I don't even know anything about Void Rivals. What publisher? Image. There happened to be another Creepshow book in there. I love the Creepshow comics. And a Walking Dead Deluxe book. Okay. Absolutely cool. A lot of whenever we were there, we just got to hang out and talk in the garage. Reggie, he actually invited people up into his studio, and he would go, you know, take onesies or two people at a time up to his comic book studio, and it was kind of nice, you know, to sit and talk to the guy. Honestly, I've known him for years, and I think we have talked many times. And he put it, we always seem to be talking over people. But I've never been sitting in a room just talking one-on-one to Reggie. Now, there are handfuls of times, but not for a real long time. But it was really kind of cool to go up into his studio and see where the magic happens. You know, see where he films his videos, see his famous wall where he hangs his comic books. And guys, I'm not going to lie. Whenever I started following his channel and I'd see the books on the wall, I'm like, oh, I want that. I want that for my comic book room. Because at the time, I didn't have anything hanging on the wall in my comic book room. Some of you guys that have been around for a while, you've seen what it used to look like, and it looked nothing like. I actually like the comic book room now, but it didn't look anything like this. But he absolutely inspired me by, you know, having me display comics on a wall. So I was up there and I was able to find a blank cover of Transformers #1. These are fun. Get, you know, some sketch or just a signature. I like to have remarks put on them, you know, when you're at a comic book show, but that'll stay in the collection. That's kind of a cool book. Now, I told you, Reggie has his own comic book publishing company, okay? And guys, I think it's kind of cool. It's definitely on the ground, you know, it's a small company. But hey, you name me one big company that didn't start out small. So I like his, what's the word I'm looking for? His enthusiasm, his go-get-it attitude, okay? So he has a dream, he wants to do it. Now, one of those books is Isolation. And guys, this is so hard to, it's such a shiny cover, and it's hard to show without too much glare, but this is a New York Comic Con exclusive variant. And I used to have every single variant cover of Isolation until they went to New York Comic Con this year and dropped 4 new variant covers that I didn't even know about. So then there was a period where I didn't have every single variant issue cover or whatever. Ended up getting them back now. This one was an A-OK And thank you, Joe. This was an A-OK from Joe from Anachronic Comics. But then I ended up picking up the other ones. This is variant covered issue number 2. And it comes with a COA, and so did issue number 1. Variant cover issue number 3, pretty pixelated. Pretty dope if you ask me. And then issue number 4. Okay. This has like a wave, I don't know, to it. But kind of cool. I've seen foil covers, but these are like foil covers, like, I don't know, it's on steroids, okay, if you want. They're just that cool. Now, okay, Amazing Bratton Brothers. They were there, and you know what? I got some AOKs from them. I'm going to show you an AOK from the great Dave Bratton, who's the better looking of the two Bratton brothers. Sorry, Doug. It's just so true. But anyhow, I got some things I'll show you a little bit soon, but this came in this awesome Shazam bag, okay? And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love Shazam, but I don't love Shazam nearly as much as Dave Bratton. Dave Bratton is like the all-time Shazam fan out there, and I think he likes Superman a little bit better. I don't know, Dave, you're gonna have to let me know in the comments. But anyhow, I got some really dope Shazam books right here from Dave Bratton, and honestly, I love this cover, okay? And Dave said, yeah, I just like the cover. And you know what, Dave? I agree with you. It's an amazing cover. Now, this one. This was the exclusive movie variant. I think you actually had to go see the movie in theaters and luck into that book. So, thank you for that. I'm loving it. Now, this is another super dope Shazam book. Dave, thank you so much. Now, the lesser, not as good looking Bratton brother, Doug. And guys, by the way, we were talking about it this weekend. I don't even know how I started saying that. I'm not saying one's better looking or not as good looking as the other, but I've been saying it for a while, so I'm going to keep saying it. All right. Now, Doug Bratton, he gave me this one. This is Mikey Sutton's Dreamwalker. This was issue number 2 that I could not find anywhere. Mikey Sutton passed away earlier this fall, but before he passed away, I was even reaching out to him trying to see if I could find that book, but it was just a book I couldn't find. Well, thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. But I also had to get some Red Gibbon tape. You guys, honestly, I'm not out of Red Gibbon tape. I have some here. I have some more here. I have one that's not even open, and yeah! I was like, I'm sure I even have more, and I really don't want to go looking further because I would find more of that Red Gibbon tape, but honestly, I've been using it for years, and I think I'm going to continue to use it for years. Honestly, guys, the fun with GarageCon isn't just the, I forget, 5-6 hours that Regie has it open. It doesn't end just there. It actually extends further. We've started this tradition where there's a local coffee shop, maybe 2 miles away. We've been going there and having coffee, and some of us leave and they go home right after that coffee shop meeting, and some of us spend a night. For me, it's like an 8-hour drive. I probably could drive home that night, but I prefer to just stay the night in a hotel and then wake up early next morning and leave and just have a lot easier of a day about it. Well, at the coffee shop, it was Brian LCS, it was Doug, Dave Bratton, it was Milt, it was Joe, and it was me. And we were just sitting there having a really good time. And, that's a fun adventure too. And then even after that, we all, the Brattons left, Mr. Brian LCS, he had gone home. But Milt, Joe, and we were still spending the night in a hotel. So we went home, or forgive me, we didn't go home. We went to our hotels. We relaxed for a few hours, and then we went back out to dinner. So, it really is a long weekend. It's, Friday night, Saturday morning. It's a long weekend, but you know what? You get to see people that you really care about. You get to see them every now and then, and not too often. So, you know what? It was fun to do. But the last thing I'm going to, quote, show off, because, guys, haul videos have their place. I do like to see what friends of mine get. I do like to see stuff like that and people I watch on YouTube. But, sometimes I feel like it's just a show off. And it's just not my thing. But every now and then, hey, you just have to do it. But anyhow, especially if you're if your channel is a comic book collecting channel, okay? Because I'm not selling anything, I'm collecting, and sometimes the journey of how you get to certain books, yeah, that's kind of a cool story. But this is a book, 9.8, Spider-Man #1, McFarlane, 1990. This is one of those books that when I started collecting, I always assumed I would pick one up. Because, well, one, they were a dime a dozen. They were relatively cheap. One of the most slabbed CGC books in all history. Guys, a really great friend of mine, okay? X11 Bravo and his cohort X11 Panda. I saw them a couple months ago, and I got an A-OK. And I got an A-OK of a super dope cover. A Dave Stevens cover. I'd never seen it before. Boom, okay? This Dave Stevens Airboy #5, and this is from the year 1986. Just such a sweet, looking cover. I picked this up to give it an A-OK, so something's gonna go back out to you, and probably you're gonna see this video before you even get it. And then there's another book that I've been looking for, and it was at the right price, and everything was nice, and it's the first appearance of the century. This is one of those very few early 2000s, bronze, or not Bronze Age, but I wouldn't even call it a blue chip key, but it has potential to in 20, 30 years become one. It's a pretty cool character. Nice first appearance. Like I said, there's a handful of early 2000s keys. Definitely, I would throw Walking Dead into that category, but you get my point. There's a handful of them. But, guys, somebody was super nice to me. Super nice. But they will not allow me to tell who it was. But, I told you I saw the one book. Well, somebody A-OK'd me this copy of Airboy #5. And guys, there are some amazing people out there, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. But you know what? Just hanging out with some really good people down at GarageCon. I still got to see if I can say that word. I might have to redo this entire video if I don't get permission to use that word. So hopefully I got permission, and if you are hearing me have this little rant, you know that I did. But guys, hey, that was my GarageCon story. If you guys have any questions or have any stories of your own, please put them down in the comments. But guys, I want to thank everybody for watching, and you have a great day.